On this episode of Les Roll Radio, we give tips for BJJ purple belts. This is Les Roll Radio, a combat sports podcast. I'm Kelly Shennicky.
And I'm Andrea Shennicky. Welcome to the podcast.
All right, so since the last episode, a big thing happened. Andrea got her brown belt.
Woohoo.
If we could edit, we put applause in here. Just imagine it.
One of these buttons does that, but I don't know which one.
We're not going to try. But it's, in the words of Taylor Swift, been a long time coming.
I appreciate that.
And yeah, that's exciting. And so we've done a couple episodes like this. We did the white belt tips and we did the blue belt tips, but we did both of those together.
Yes, yeah.
Because white belt tips, I was a blue and you were purple. And then when we did blue, we were both purple.
Yeah.
We had some overlap. So now that we are back to being on different planes, we're going to do purple belt tips.
Woohoo.
Which I'm excited about because it's mostly me interviewing you and you get to talk instead of just me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So excited for that.
Just for me talking?
Yeah.
I'll do my best.
Okay. I know you will. So first question is, I guess I just want to talk about like initially getting your purple belt, which was how long ago for you?
4.5 years ago.
And you've talked about that like you had about 4-ish years for each belt.
Yeah.
So like you've been in it a hot minute.
I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah. So this is going way back, but how did you feel right after getting the purple belt promotion that you can recall?
Okay, yeah.
Because, people feel like sometimes imposter syndrome, sometimes it's like relief, array of emotions.
Yeah.
Was it consistent? Did you go through kind of array of an emotional array?
Emotional array?
An emotional array.
I actually had pretty bad imposter syndrome, I would say.
Really?
Yeah.
I wondered because of the amount of time.
Yeah. I don't know.
Interesting.
It just... I knew it was coming, but like...
And you wanted it.
Yeah, of course I did. It just didn't... I was just like, oh shit. Oh shit.
Did you feel like that at blue belt? I can't remember if we've talked about this before.
No.
You didn't. So it was purple belt where you felt like, oh crap.
Yeah. Like, oh shit, I'm really like in this, like stuck in this.
Why do you think it was different?
I don't know. Do
you just think like lower expectations for blue belts? Or is it self-imposed?
I think it was self-imposed.
Interesting. Did you feel pressured to then perform at a higher level, either competitively or in the gym? Did that kind of go with that feeling of...
Not at the gym, I would say. I would say it felt pretty much the same, but in competition at blue belt, I was competing pretty regularly and podiuming pretty regularly. And then I was like, oh shit, I have to now do this at purple belt too. Mm-hmm. And then, but I only got to compete twice before having the hip saga start. So, I did podium at both those events.
Yeah, I was gonna say you did great at both.
Yeah, but I just felt like it was going self-imposed. But I'm like,
I think you won your very first purple belt match too. It was Guy, I remember. Arnold's.
Oh yeah, I did.
So like right off the bat, you won your first match at purple belt.
Yeah.
What's that like, winning matches?
It's fun. I'm not gonna lie. I do enjoy it.
Was there anything like when you got your purple belt, whether it was that, like the first time you podiumed or maybe winning that first match at purple belt because you are so competition oriented, although I know you didn't compete as much at purple as you would have liked, or like hitting a move on a certain person in the gym. I mean, I don't know, but like, was there something that changed things for you? Like, did a thing happen that kind of changed the tide where you're like, I feel comfy at this belt, or what?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So that happened in December at Nogi Worlds.
Okay.
When I came in second place. I felt like, oh yeah, I can do this. I did purple belt things at a high purple belt level.
So last year. So several years. Oh, damn. So like years into it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild that it took that long.
For me, I personally feel that way.
I think that's good for people to hear, right? Because everyone's journey is different. I don't even know like what this question means, but like, what do you think during that time was like the most purple beltish thing that you did?
Oh,
like,
just like
you know
in
what
general?
I mean? Like we talk about like white belt things or like blue belt. What is like the most purple belt thing?
stereotypical sit out during warm-ups. I definitely
had that in my mind.
I definitely did that.
But that was because
I was injured as well.
And the baby.
Oh, yeah, we have that.
We have one of those.
Yeah.
She's not even a baby. She's a toddler.
She's a toddler now, but yeah.
But yeah, she was not actually an excuse, but like we spent a lot of time getting her ready before class, so we would skip warm-ups. I did too, even at blue belt, even before I got my purple belt.
You were just a purple belt in waiting.
I was. I told you I wanted mine before she was born, and then she came early and it like threw everything off. And I'm like, like Jacob can come to the hospital and like just run it up to me in the NICU. That's fine.
He totally would have done that.
He would have, but no, it didn't happen that way. But yeah, so I mean, another thing about purple belt that's interesting is like, I hear people describe it in like different ways, but like in some ways it's quite literally like the middle belt, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's like equitably the middle belt. I think a lot of people consider it the first advanced belt.
I would agree with that.
So that is a difference. So it's not really like firmly in the middle. And then both I think we see in promotions kind of in real life, like anecdotally, and then even IBJJF has different standards for promotions over time. And I think that probably is reflective of the fact that you, as you gain more skill, can move a little bit more quicker through the rank, right? Like, what I mean by that, if no one's following, is for IBJJF, there's obviously not a weight for you to get. You don't have to be a white belt for so many years, but
right.
Blue belt to purple's 2, and then purple to brown is 1.5. Brown to black is 1. Obviously, a lot of people take much longer, but I am assuming, again, that reflects that the higher up you go, kind of the quicker you get to the next belt, like that you're typically at blue belt the longest because there's just more growth at that particular belt, more growth at purple than at brown, et cetera. So I'm curious, for it being kind of like the middle belt, but also sort of like the first advanced belt, what part of that was the hardest? Yeah. That, like, it's like the lowest level advanced belt at the same time, but it also is kind of perceived by a lot of people to be in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. So I learned very well with traditional classroom time. So like, a move gets demonstrated to you, you're walked through it. And as you get through purple belt, you're seeing all the same moves over and over again. And I'm like, oh, I have to learn things on my own now.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about that later, but like, I can only do the same thing so many times. I mean, I can always rep things. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No, I think this is nuanced, right?
Yeah.
Like there's always the possibility of picking up a new detail, particularly if it's not the same instructor over and over again, learning the same technique from a different person, or just like reps are great, period, because we never get enough reps of anything in. But right, if you've been training, like in your case, 12 years,
yeah,
you've probably seen an Americana 30,000 times.
Taught the same way until I learned it on my own from somewhere else.
Right. So that, I guess, has maybe been so you say that was one of the hardest things?
Yeah, just for my learning style, I have a hard time even in like self-learning.
Okay.
So
needing to be somewhat responsible for your own development past like fundamentals has been tricky.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very hard. I would say that's probably the hardest, and what would have kept me at that belt the longest. Sorry, I stuttered the whole time.
No, I think it's funny because I think I'm the inverse in some ways, where I think probably I think everyone needs fundamentals, so I don't mean to sound like that person, but I think like I always try to have a good attitude about learning things that aren't applicable to me necessarily in my game. So I always try to be like respectful of the coach, respectful of the instructor. But there are also times where I'm like, I think I may have wasted 5 hours in class this week that I could have spent watching submeta. But at white belt, you can't. Like I don't think you can. I think you do need to be in a class receiving somewhat traditional instruction, to be honest.
Yeah, I would agree.
I feel like I'm the inverse, where I think now I'm doing much better because I have that fundamental knowledge to be able to learn on my own.
I mean, I also think that shows how we've come up together pretty quickly. Like, you're pretty close to me now in your jiu-jitsu knowledge. If not, you know more than me. And like, it took me 12 years, 13 years to do it. And you've been doing it 5-6 years?
Meaningfully since 2020. I started in 2019.
So we'll say 5.5 years, 5 years. So like, I mean, you learn you learn very quickly. So, and you learn in that self-learning, because you can just sit and watch things, and I get so distracted I can't. So,
That's interesting though. That's just like it's just I think people's learning styles is very interesting. Mm-hmm. So related or unrelated to that, did you ever feel stuck at purple belt? Like, did you feel like you plateaued in terms of learning? Was that a hard lesson to learn that you needed to be able to like take a little bit more command over your own learning, or do you feel like you kind of just plugged away at it?
I think it was a slow growth into that. I did get some help from you, having you push me and be like, hey, we could watch these things and do these things, because I wasn't doing them outside of the classroom for a while. I kind of like took a break on my learning if it wasn't in the class setting, in the gym setting, especially after my surgeries. I was just I think the surgeries plateaued me.
I was curious about that, like how much of it was just the belt and like the natural growth at like that belt versus the fact that you had a lot of disruption. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because like I would say that you went through purple belt faster than white belt and blue belt, not in terms of years, but hours probably, right?
Absolutely,
if you think about the interruptions you had. Because that was quite a bit of stuff that you went through. I mean, 4 or 5 surgeries now.
5 surgeries in total.
Yeah. And not including the baby.
No, I did include the baby.
Oh, you did include the baby. I literally can't keep track of your hip surgeries. What was the most recent one? 4?
4.
Okay. So yeah, 5 including
the baby.
The monster. Yeah.
Sorry, the toddler.
The toddler. Sorry. She gets very offended.
She does.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I guess that kind of like leads into like my next few questions about building your game at purple belt. And, one of the questions was exactly that, like how important is self-learning? So, I don't know if you have anything else you want to say about that.
Well, just that self-learning is important, and getting help outside of your gym is important. So doing some privates and such. I had a friend in college who went from white belt to purple belt in like 5-6 years, if even that long. And he attributed it to the amount of privates he got.
There's nothing that's helped my jiu-jitsu
more, right? Yeah.
So regular privates.
If you can afford privates, do them.
100%. I mean, if you can only do them like once a quarter, once a month, I mean, I do them weekly. I understand that's a privilege. It's a thing I prioritize.
I used to do them bi-weekly.
Yeah, you did them bi-weekly.
So like, make it work for you if you can.
Yeah.
It will help.
I know I'm in the midst of purple belt, so I feel awkward like jumping in with any advice, but I mean, I would say for any belt level, like that has been the thing. But I would say for me, I started doing that maybe like a year into blue belt. Mm-hmm. I can't remember exactly. So I would not have, like, I basically went like a year or year and a half at blue belt and got to like one stripe, and in that same amount of time got my purple belt for the second half.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's because I was being promoted by someone different. I think it's because of the privates that I did weekly. And it just exponentially increased my learning and my growth.
Well, I mean, think about it. You're spending one-on-one time with someone versus in a gym class setting where it's one teacher to 5 students, if you're lucky. So, yeah.
So, was there anything that maybe like at purple belt, like how much in terms of your situation's interesting too, because like you had a really like solid A game, and in some ways you've kept it and also had to modify it because of your hips. Yeah. Right. And the multiple surgeries you've had. And I think it's interesting because you're still figuring that out in some ways.
Yeah.
But do you feel like when you got to purple belt or throughout purple belt, aside from that, like modifications for medical reasons, let's kind of put that aside. Do you feel like you were like, this is my style of jiu-jitsu and you were just refining it? Or did you feel like it was still very explorative?
In a competition sense, I didn't do very much exploring. I did what I knew, and that's kind of how I still play my game. I have added a couple of things, like I worked some Ilahiva at the Indie Open I was last at.
I mean, I think you did it before.
I didn't realize I was doing it, but I did it on purpose this time.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've just added to that A game. I haven't, for me, it's worked and it's still working in a sense. So the only thing I modify is because of my hips. I have a hard time doing certain movements.
So is that in contrast to blue belt? Like, did you feel like you were much more explorative at blue belt?
No.
You were so funny because like, it's so interesting because you were just like, I have a very fundamental game and I've done the same thing since white belt, but better, like to better degrees.
Yeah. It's just that I grew up very heavy on fundamentals for, I would say, 8 years. Just very strictly fundamental, not doing anything crazy. And I've just been able to hone in.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I've just been able to hone in.
You just have a very old school game.
It's very old school, and I've been able to make it work for me. I'm trying to do some new things now, a little more explorative.
See, that's what's so interesting to me. And I guess that was one of my questions, like, again, as a purple belt, advising me, because Jacob, my coach, for those who don't know who I'm talking about, told me he doesn't want me learning anything new. And obviously, we were doing weekly privates. I am learning every single week.
Right.
I'm learning in class. But just like not changing my game at this point, like just making all of the things I do perfect rather than adding new things, which I kind of agree with, but it's hard for me because I love learning.
Yeah.
And I also like teaching. And I don't want to just teach
what you know,
what I know and what I'm good at.
Yeah.
I want to be like Lachlan and have like a wide range of things that I know and I understand, like truly know and understand. So those are kind of diametrically opposed to one another, like being good at jiu-jitsu and then like knowing a vast array of jiu-jitsu. So that's kind of why I was asking you that question, because like that's a challenge that I'm having at purple belt right now, because I feel like I changed my entire guard at blue belt and I still do things from my white belt or like early blue belt days, but I changed, like I said, my entire guard. I didn't become a top player, but like I completely became an open guard player. I became a no-gi person. I mean, really big changes compared to playing spider, lasso, and a gi. I mean, really,
Right,
like,
yeah.
really, really big changes. And then it's like, now I don't want any of that. Because I just want to get good. I want to stop, like, because every time you kind of reset, it feels like you're not starting over, but kind of. So when you say you're trying to explore more, do you mean that dramatically, or you just mean?
Not necessarily changing my A game. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
No, not unless I find something that's going to work for me. So, like, I did a sweep on Sunday, and I'm like, I really liked that. I'm not going to throw it in my game plan now until I hit it multiple times, and I feel like I can hit it on other people besides this one person. So it's just it would take time for me to decide whether or not it goes into my game plan.
So it sounds like maybe the roundabout answer is you're open to new things, but the core of your jiu-jitsu is pretty much staying the same, and maybe did at purple belt too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was way easier than what I said. So thank you.
No. I was, because again, one of my other questions was like, how do you do that balance of like the two? Because that's been really challenging for me. I mean, I had like weird rules at blue belt that I made up for how I trained and rolled, like I always played top on Mondays and then I was in guard the other days, like things like that. And I don't do those things anymore because I'm not being as explorative. But I mean, I am to a certain degree, but like, I really only work like false reap on you because then it limits it. It like limits it. So like I am mostly just.
I heard you worked false reap on
I did it on
Joe.
I did it on Joe and Nathaniel. I picked 2 black belts to workshop on. That was genius.
Yeah.
I also got armbarred off my own K guard entry, which has never happened to me. I'm like not great at jiu-jitsu, but I'm pretty confident in my fucking K guard entry. And then I got armbarred in the same round like 3 or 4 times in a row.
He said it kept getting harder.
He said that the next day. Then
the
next day it happened again the same way. And then finally I think I figured it out by like the 8th time. But I digress. So, another big change that I think happens, and it can happen at any belt level depending upon the composition of your particular gym, right? And how many advanced belts you have. But I think especially for women, we tend to take up leadership roles early, right? Like even at blue belt. So I'm curious about maybe how that changed at purple belt for you. Aside from like coaching or teaching, how did just your relationships change, if at all, with people in the gym on the mats? Like, did you feel different or like any sense of needing to be a good role model or act or behave in a certain way or anything like that? Like, did it change at all for you?
No, not really. I don't think so. Did it?
I don't know.
You're looking at me like it did.
No, I'm just asking you questions and you're like, no, none of that happened.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm still the same person I've always been. And
do you think it's because you did those things even at lower belt levels?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing right now based on like my knowledge of you because, it's weird because like you're my wife now, but I'm thinking back to when I started jiu-jitsu and I was a white belt and you were the only, aside from coaches, there was a purple belt and a blue belt female coach. You were the only blue belt that was training regularly, like at all. It was all white belts or blue belts that kind of like came in and out. You were the only one training regularly at all. You were the best. You were the one that was the best in competition consistently. You took warm-ups really seriously. Like, you were a gym leader. You never rolled with me. I don't think I rolled with you for like the first year I knew you.
Yeah.
But like, you had that sort of presence even like at early blue belt. So I guess I was asking if anything changed at purple, but maybe part of it's that because of like the composition of that particular gym, you emulated the behavior earlier and kind of just kept up with it.
Yeah, I think so, because it didn't feel any different for me. So
do you feel like it changed, not the belt, like getting the belt necessarily, but just throughout the purple belt journey, your role with coaching or teaching? Do you feel like it changed, like how you felt about doing either of those things? Like, did you feel like you became more comfortable in a more formal supporting role, not just being a gym leader?
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like started to go into this.
Were you really coaching people before?
Not really.
Yeah.
Just like if I happen to be there or like yelling for people. But no, yeah, I've taken more of I sit in the chair and coach people now.
And I think you're really good at it. Like, I said this to John, who's now our head coach at CrewFit for the BJJ program. But I mean, I said this the other day to John. He asked you to coach someone in a fight, and I said, I think Andrea is a better comp coach than a lot of black belts even. And I don't mean that as like a dig, but like, you are exceptionally good at that. So I would just say, like, my answer to this question, not that I was the one that asked, is like, passively seeing it, I think you have become a much better competition coach throughout your purple belt journey.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, not that you were bad at all, but I think a lot of it is also probably like talking through like what works and doesn't work for different people and being like very self-aware of that. And I think one thing you do really well that I think I don't know that you knew at blue belt, that I have seen you learn throughout purple belt, was to do that, to tailor it to different people and to not just have like a style of coaching. Like, some people need to be hyped up. Some people, like, every word is precious, so you don't need to just yell things.
Yeah.
Or say things that are useless. You know, everyone has different styles
of
receiving information, so you have to have different styles of coaching.
I do. I do that for my students when I'm coaching.
You try to be person-centered.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I perceive that you have changed with that over time.
Yeah, because I used to be mostly just hype and very excited, and now I've been able to hold myself back a little bit. But yeah, I do ask the guy that John asked me to coach. I went up to him before. I asked him how he would like to be coached, if he wants to be hyped or if he wants to know specific details. And that was our in-house smoker at CrewFit, so it was a good
low stakes, but like it was
a good introduction to
intro.
Coaching him. And
I mean, that's a good example of coaching someone on the fly that you don't know necessarily too, and like knowing to ask those questions.
Yeah.
What about teaching? Because you don't teach.
Yeah, so I don't have a regular teaching role at CrewFit.
Well, you do with me. I mean, you taught Friday.
Yeah, I'm more like step in.
But you haven't throughout Purple Belt had like a regular class that's mostly been yours, but you have been my uke. And I think the interesting thing also, I would say, is I think you are a better coach than instructor. And I do think that those are different. And you're really good at cueing, and you're really good at seeing. It's why you're good in competition settings. Like, you're good at sometimes seeing the problem better than me. And so that's why I think we are better together teaching, because you know, I'm always like, will you please watch them too? I don't really need to say that to you, no to. But like, if I always make sure you are, because I don't want it to be like, well, Kelly taught class, she's just watching everyone and we'll jump in, because I really value your opinion on different things and like your ability to see a problem that maybe like I'm not even seeing, or I might be like, I think that that's close enough. We'll let them get as far as they're getting for today. And you might have like a little detail that I didn't think about. Or sometimes you'll say, she was doing this, and I may have not even said the thing.
Yeah.
Or like, this cue can help. So that's something, again, I feel like I'm answering these questions for you now.
No, please.
But I have noticed that change from blue belt to brown belt, like throughout that purple belt journey.
I mean, I have a hard time seeing things from the outside view of myself, so I do appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that that's become a lot more refined, but you still just have no interest in teaching.
No.
Why do you think that? I think that's fine, and I think it's important to recognize that too, but why do you think that is?
I feel like I don't mind some classic instruction, but I feel like I'm just not the best to do it. I have a hard time talking to people in like large settings. There are better people out there to do it.
Your jiu-jitsu is so good though. You did a great job Friday.
It depends on what the move is. If
Do you feel like you have to prep and then you
Absolutely,
feel better?
yeah.
See, I feel like I can teach things on the fly.
The only thing, there's
shitty.
like 2 things I can teach on the fly that I'm very comfortable teaching.
I don't, though. I like am very much like I prep. You know that. I still have to work on finishing up classes for this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean.
Well, she preps and prints a paper out.
Okay. So that I don't sound like a big nerd there, it's because
you are a big nerd, but anyway.
It's because 3 of the 4 I'm teaching are CLA, they're games. So I'm not going to literally remember the games and the constraints. So I need to write those out. And then also, like, if I need to give them to you for you know,
teaching
to fill in, I don't know, whatever's happening to me, that, you know, another person can literally be like, okay, second game is this. I don't do that for instruction.
I was just teasing.
Yeah. Because right now I'm teaching a fundamentals class too that I won't be teaching long term. I'm just short term filling in for that. And that is like traditional instruction. And I don't write anything out for that. I know what I'm doing. And then I just do it.
Yeah. Again,
I mean, I still plan it in my brain, but
there are certain moves. There's like 2 moves that I can teach without prepping.
I don't think that that's true. Also, like, the more you do it, the more you get comfortable doing it. But I also think it's fine just to not love it and to just be like, I don't get anything out of that. Like, I don't want to do that. And that's fine. So, you know, the whole point of this was advice. And so hopefully these questions kind of got to things that would be helpful for people throughout their purple belt journey. But just to get like a little bit more specific here in terms of actually offering advice to your purple belt brethren or former brethren, if you were to give a piece of advice to a brand new purple belt, like someone who just went from blue to purple, what would it be?
Okay, so I think it's hard because I don't feel like I have good advice for a brand new purple belt, but for like the middle.
I was going to ask that next. So do you want to just answer that instead and just feel like, I don't know?
Yeah. You know what? I'm just going to answer it for purple belt in general.
Okay.
You could never get promoted again and still keep getting great.
That's true at any belt.
That's true at any belt, but like I feel like once you hit that advanced belt, it really doesn't matter at that point.
It really kind of doesn't.
After that, I don't think it matters. And I wouldn't have said that before. So I would just say keep training, even if you're not getting belted or getting promoted. Just keep doing it.
It feels like it's, like I said, a turning point in terms of your growth. But you have so much more potential for exponential growth at purple belt. And so it's like the sky's the limit in terms of your learning, because you have, it's like white belt. Yeah, you get your blue belt because you understand fundamentals, but you still don't understand everything about jiu-jitsu. You still don't have a full conceptual framework. And it's like, I think blue belt to purple belt, you get that conceptual framework. And so then at purple belt, it's all just fun.
Yeah.
Also agonizing too, right? Because like you're very acutely aware of what you're doing wrong in a way that you maybe aren't always aware of at lower belts. Mm-hmm. And so it's a lot of just refining execution.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's fun and like really tough. Yes, I mean, my question was someone who's maybe looking more to brown belt, like let's say they're at least 50% through their purple belt, mm-hmm. and they're ready for that push. Like, is it just that? Keep showing up and keep training?
Yeah, I mean, and keep learning. I say keep showing up, but keep learning outside of the gym. I mean, showing up is important, but if you're not learning outside, you're probably
not learning. You're probably stagnant.
You're just going through the motions, and you really need to mentally push yourself when it comes to
I don't think that's a dig on any gym or traditional instruction. And I wish I could remember. I was listening to, I want to give credit to BJJ Mental Models Premium. I do not recall what episode I was listening to, but it was a premium episode. And I feel like it's one of my friends too. Like, I can't remember who it was, but someone was talking about purple belt specifically, and that it should be essentially a self-taught belt.
Jesse Walker.
It was Jesse Walker. And I think that's really important, and that's kind of what you were getting at earlier and you're getting at now again.
Yes. Yeah.
Is you have to learn outside the gym, and you have to understand that you are mostly responsible for your learning, not class time. Class time, I think, does something else. Like, I felt like class time was community. Mm-hmm. It was time to roll. In a traditional like instruction setting, it was a time to give back. I mean, I think most of why I went to class was to help other people.
Yeah.
And then my real learning came, honestly, outside of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, again,
I mean, it has to.
That's not a dig on any school.
No.
That's just it. You're right. It has to at that point, because the curriculum is mostly going to be repeating fundamentals.
Curriculums at gyms are rotating curriculums. They just continue on and start over. They have to for all those new people coming in.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I mean, you have to learn outside of the gym.
I do love that. I mean, not to like, plug our gym that we're going to too much, but I do love that about how John set up CrewFit in the BJJ program, because fundamentals really aren't beginners. Like fundamentals sounds like beginner. It's not beginner. It's just traditional instruction. So people who learn best through traditional instruction, they get that through fundamentals. And it's a rotating 12-week curriculum. But what you learn each time you're in that particular block might be different. So for example, this upcoming week is Mount. And there are a list of a ton of things from Mount that are suggested to teach. And I'm teaching Friday. And I can pick anything out from that. And I don't, so like over the course of a year, everything gets covered organically. Yeah. And obviously we talk to each other and make sure like, people aren't going a whole year without doing an armbar from out or whatever, because that would be tragic. But like everything gets covered. We do communicate, talk about it, but like you can pick out whatever you're best at to teach. Yeah. But you're teaching from that particular thing. I think that's a really interesting way to do curriculum and do fundamentals that at first I was a little like, about, but they do that in Muay Thai there and it works really well.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think it's going to translate over very well.
Yeah. So I'm very on board with it. And then the rest of our classes, actually the bulk of our classes are advanced, which is just 2-stripe white belt and above. And they are really pretty much pure CLA ecological approach. So people who learn better through doing and task-based games have that. And then people who need really traditional instruction have that too. Yep. So we're offering both in large volume. There's jiu-jitsu literally 7 days a week, multiple classes, most of those days too. So there's just a wild array. And I think that can help too. So I think, if you have the opportunity to go to a gym where there's both, that's good. I think more gyms need to do CLA, especially it's so hot in other parts of the country. And I don't think we're doing enough of it here in Indiana.
On the coast, it's really.
Yeah. So I'm really excited that we are doing that. But I think even if you are at a school that's doing CLA, you still have to get outside instruction.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, that was my soapbox and my talking about CrewFit because it's the best. And it's the home of camp, hardcore camp. So that's great too. Is there anything you wish you had done differently at Purple Belt?
Cross-trained more.
I agree. I felt like we were really good at it at Blue Belt. I was the best at it at White Belt, to be honest. Yeah. It was just life. Purple Belt was hard for me.
I mean...
I'm still a Purple Belt.
Yeah, just cross-training because I think with all the surgeries and stuff, it would just never became a priority to train anywhere else. It was just train where you can. And I think sometimes life has to be that way. You just train where you can. Yeah. And that's fine. And find community in that. And I don't have regrets, but I also wish we had been able to cross-train more. Yeah, I mean, it's
just good.
It's just good
Everyone
for you.
Should do it. I think that I'm really hopeful that we can start doing that once the program feels a little bit more settled and like our schedule is more settled. Like, for example, I went to the Stockman's. It's a local gym, had a black belt showcase, and I went a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And like that was great. And someone taught a move I've seen 10 million times, but taught it in a different way. And it was great. I learned something new. And that was cool. There are lots of women's classes locally, like Naptown just started a women's class. It's gi. I'm a little sad about that, but otherwise, like I would love to go to that. It's on my rest night, unfortunately. So like I just have to figure out how to make that work. There are other gyms that are doing women's open mats. Our gym has a 6 p.m. women's class that's open. It's either free or pay what you can drop in. So, if you're in the Fishers, Indianapolis area, you're always welcome. So I think that there are so many opportunities for that I'm really excited about too. So I'm with you on that one. What belt do you think was the hardest? White, blue, or purple?
Well, I'm going to say purple. And the reason being is I had 5 surgeries during Purple Belt and it really slowed me down. I mean, that's kind of the bottom line.
Yeah. I felt like you trained really, really hard in the in-betweens.
I tried to. Yeah. I felt like I had to catch up. I don't know if I did, but
I think that's a good example of just sometimes you have to like make do with what you have and train when you can.
Yeah, I agree.
Is there something that you think purple belts think they know, but they don't?
Think they know, but they don't. Warm-ups are important still.
I mean, quite literally, and then also just respect for your instructor and respect for your other students.
Yeah, so
your peers.
That's kind of what I'm
that
getting
you're a
at.
Leader.
Yeah, you still have to be a leader, and even if you need to stretch something else other than the warm-up, do your stretches before class, get there before class, still do the warm-ups that are asked of you if you physically can, because they may be tied to the lesson plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so the coach is trying to warm your body up for the lesson plan.
Yes.
I feel like those are the best warm-ups, the ones that really get your body ready for what's going to be taught.
Mm-hmm. I don't do any traditional warm-ups anymore. At all. I try to do a warm-up, even if I'm not doing a pure eco class, even if it's one that has technique, that we do one that's specifically related to the thing.
Yeah, I think that's important.
All right. That's all of my questions. Anything just generally, like advice for purple belts that I did not cover? Anything that you think needs to be said?
Keep it fun. It's all meant to be fun. If you're not doing this for fun, then why are you doing it?
I don't know. I ask that all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm constantly like, can I please quit?
We'll talk about it.
Okay. The answer is going to be no. All right. So we had one listener question. What is the hardest part of training for you right now, and how do you deal with it?
Having a baby
That was my answer.
is the hardest part because it's...
A toddler's worse than a baby.
Yeah.
You can
Sorry,
stick a
the
baby in
baby
the
was
corner.
easy.
Yeah, honestly.
The toddler is very difficult. It's very hard for both of us to train together now. So that is very unfortunate and sad.
Yeah.
So that's really the hardest part with consistently training. Like, we have to figure so much stuff out when it comes to what to do with her. Like, at Open Mat, we are fortunate enough that our friends are there and they're able to, like, talk to while we both try to roll.
Well, and a lot of people have known her entire life too, that we train with. So it's like, you know, because even though we just started going back to CrewFit full time, like that has been one of our gyms this, you know, the last several years. And like these people know her in and outside of the gym, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, Jacob's at our house every week. Like, I don't know, like they just know her. They've met her many times. So it's kind of like she's like the gym toddler.
I mean, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that does help. But let me tell you, the night that your mom comes and watches her is the best training night because we have 2 in a row and it's just so much better. The commuting's not even hard. It's just her being active.
Yeah, she just wants to move.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think when she gets a little older and she's like entertained by a device, which I know is bad parenting, it'll be easier, but she's in that like in between where she wants to move a bunch.
Yeah.
And has FOMO and like doesn't want to just like independently play with stuff. So it's really shitty. So the how you deal with it is like just people help.
People help and we adjust the way we do things training.
We literally have a pack and play on the mat.
Yeah.
And you're right, adjust. So like, I don't think we rolled half a round together on Sunday at Open Mat. And then I think we alternated otherwise.
Yes. There was one time where Mike
was talking to her.
Mike and Wes were talking to her and then they got her out to let her crawl
I didn't even know
around.
that. That's great.
Yeah. So that we could both get rolls in.
I was obviously rolling. I don't remember that. All right. Questions for each other. My first one, my only one.
Okay.
My one question is, what are your goals for brown belt?
I would like to win Nogi Worlds.
Great.
Or
normally you can, like, I can answer it too, but I can't.
Because it's brown belt. I was like, I'm going to ask you, but I guess I won't. I would like to win Nogi Worlds. That is a goal of mine. It always has been. So we'll see if it happens this time around. Yeah. Do you have a goal for purple belt?
Oh, no.
Okay, that wasn't my question, but my question is, sorry.
Oh, I just saw the question.
My question is, how often do you think about quitting and why don't you?
I think about it all the time because I'm really injured and my knee hurts constantly. I have thoracic outlet syndrome. My arm goes numb. I have something wrong with my spine. Mm-hmm. I'm in a lot of pain.
Yeah, no, I know.
No, I'm at the point where I'm like, I can't get armbarred because I have 2 bad elbows. I can't get choked because I have a bad neck. And you shouldn't heel hook me because I have now 2 bad knees because someone hyperextended my good knee.
I don't know who did that.
Yeah. I think like that, like I kind of sometimes I'm just like, man, I feel like a bad training partner. I'm having a really hard time now. And it's a good thing. Like it's going to be a good thing for my jiu-jitsu in the long run. But I am now training full time at a gym where I'm mostly rolling with black and brown belts.
Yes. Yeah.
Boys.
Yes. Yeah.
Who outweigh me and are a lot stronger than me. I understand what that means, but I'm getting punished in a way I'm not accustomed to. And that is not a diss on other training partners I've had. That is emblematic of the fact that I was higher ranked.
Yeah.
So I just want to be 100% clear with that. I have respect for everyone I've been training with the last few years. It's just I went from being the rank to not. And that's hard. So I think I'm having kind of a hard time with those things right now. So the answer to how often do I think about quitting, like every day. And I like have the issues I think I've talked about on the podcast with POTS and like passing out and stuff too.
Yeah.
So I have health issues like outside of some of this. Yeah. So it's like, it's hard. It's really hard. By the time I'm done with my 5, I do 3 days of teaching, 2 days of training, I mean, I train when I teach too, but like 2 days of hard training that are mine where I'm not teaching. So 5 days in a row of jiu-jitsu, I'm like really rough for the 2 days off.
Yeah. Like today's a day off and I'm sore.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad.
Yeah.
I feel better today than I did yesterday, but like my body's pretty done. And so I don't know. Those are just like things I question a lot. Like, but why I keep doing it? Because it's intellectually challenging. And I think my frustration is like my physical body not being able to keep up with what I think I'm intellectually capable of.
Yeah.
And fitting those puzzle pieces together is hard. Like, it's easier when you just don't know what the fuck you're doing. But when you know what the fuck you're doing, like, you can't, like,
yeah,
you know. I mean, there's still a lot I don't know. I don't mean that to sound like I know everything. I don't even sort of know most things. But I don't know. I know enough that I feel like I should be doing better than I am. And the execution feels bad. Mm-hmm. So, nah, the answer is I think about it daily, but that's why I don't quit.
Yeah.
It's not because of you. No offense.
None taken.
No, I mean, it's not like, I mean, really, because, like, I feel like we could have separate hobbies. It's not like it's the only way I can spend time with you or anything. I love that about it, but
I'm very codependent, so
you'd be quitting at brown belt if I quit.
Don't quit.
You're like, I want my black belt. I'll quit after you get your black belt.
Whatever.
No, I'm kidding. I like teaching. That's the other piece of it too. So aside from it being intellectually stimulating, I think I'm kind of just leaning into that.
Yeah.
And like for me, I'd rather be like really good at jiu-jitsu than even being a good instructor. So it's not even like preferred.
Yeah.
But I think I'm a good instructor. I get to teach in front of brown and black belts regularly.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I don't feel intimidated by it.
Yeah.
And that's not, again, arrogance. That's a reflection on the culture at the gym and a reflection on those guys and how much respect they have for us and for me. So those are the things that keep me doing it even when it's hard.
Yeah. That's great.
How about you? How often do you think about quitting?
So actually during purple belt was the most I had ever thought about quitting. Like I was thinking about it constantly because of surgeries.
So similar.
And then like the last 3 months, I just felt like I wanted to be done.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Do you think going to the new gym has helped revive some of that? See, it's funny because it's revived my love for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And it's also made me realize how bad I am like, at the same time. So I'm having both.
But see, I like that. I like being bad.
I do. I like not being the higher ranked person.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like I want to be challenged because I can't get better if I don't have people challenging me.
I love those assholes beating me up.
I do too. I love them. Yeah, it's still hard.
I mean,
you're not on your. I feel like you're just on the high right now, and I'm having my arc of. We're going through the same thing, but I think like you're just like I'm just happy to be doing jiu-jitsu because you've had so many surgeries, and like I've been out here doing it.
Yeah.
While injured, and so I'm like maybe more at a point of. Even though we're experiencing the same thing, I'm more on a different phase of like, oh fuck, this is good for me, but it really is hard. And you're just like happy to be here, golden retriever energy right now.
Yeah, and why I don't quit is because I love this sport so much. I've always loved it, and I can't imagine not doing it, even though I feel like quitting a lot.
You said that, and I'm like, I love it, but like I could get into sourdough or something. I don't know. There's probably something else.
How many times are you gonna say sourdough?
I don't know. Sourdough Sam.
Oop. But yeah, so that's kind of my answer. I'm gonna keep doing it even if I feel like quitting, I guess.
Until you break your other hip.
Let's knock on wood that doesn't happen.
I have no wood before me.
I also don't. So
I don't think that's from IKEA. That's definitely not wood.
Yeah.
Is that bad luck? Oh shit! I made the dogs bark. Sorry guys.
We're just finishing it off.
We're finishing it off. Sorry. The dogs are at the front door now. Like, there's someone here. Is it DoorDash?
It's not.
What kind of snacks did our moms bring us? Okay, so where can people find us?
What do we have coming up first?
Well, I said it wrong, but I meant that. I meant
Here,
find us physically.
Okay.
Okay.
Do it again.
Reverse. Andrea, where can people find us in person with things coming up? That was less awkward.
Okay. So coming up, we'll be at ADCC Louisville, and that's September 13th. We'll also be at IBJJF Nashville. That's October 18th through the 19th. And you can find us at Nogi Worlds. That's December 11th through the 13th, and that's in Las Vegas. Also, Lesboro Queer Grappling Camp is April 17th through the 19th at Crew Fit in Fishers, Indiana.
And where can people find us? And by that, I mean online, to be clear.
People can find the podcast letsrollradio.com. Oh my gosh. And at Let's Roll Radio on TikTok, Blue Sky, and YouTube. Oh, and Instagram. Discord link is in the bio. And you can find me, Andrea Shennigy, at Shennigy A. And you can find Kelly at Kelly Shennigy on all those platforms. All right. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.